Rebreather Diaries Part 3, Ocean Practice, and I'm headed for the warm waters of the Caribbean Sea in Bonaire, which Wikipedia describes as the Leeward Antilles. And the first order of business is to get hold of a bailout bottle, which is necessary for when your rebreather takes a dump. And I'm in the experimentation phase, where to rig the bailout bottle. It's got to be accessible, but out of the way. And for our dives in Bonaire, we're carrying 32%. This is Scotty, by the way. He's diving a different brand of rebreather. Most rebreather divers will tell you that theirs is the best brand, but that's only because they spent so much money on it. I chose my brand of rebreather because it was a nice colour. We visited this wreck in the first hour of a 3-hour dive, which was the longest dive I'd been on so far, but these machines are capable of dives more than twice as long as that. In fact, for some divers, 6 hours is just the deco obligation. It's a good time to catch up on your reading. In Bonaire, if we set out on a dive after lunch, we would take lights with us, because they often became night dives. These tarpon got even closer than usual, and they really love my video lights for hunting. At this point I was shooting on the GoPro. I did have my big camera in Bonaire, but I was keeping it simple for the first couple of days.
Stop your messing around. Better think of your future. Tie you straight and right out.
Most of us call this a sharp-tailed eel. It's in the book as a sharp-tailed snake eel. And they use their sharp tail to burrow backwards into the sand. And I like this particular one because he's a base jumper. But it's getting late and it's time to go home, have some dinner, and prep the gear for the following day. And there's a lot of gear to prep. I'm fairly accustomed to having to prepare a lot of camera gear before dives. But when you're relatively new at diving a rebreather, you have to pay special attention to preparing the machine. And you've got to follow checklists and make sure that everything's functioning correctly. And you can't reply to your girlfriend's texts in the middle of a checklist. You get pretty good at it after a while, and you can get into the water fairly quickly. Right in front of where we're staying, there's a coral restoration project underway. On this dive I'm going to try out the backscatter macro mate, which enables super close footage. Handheld macro photography is pretty hard to do, much easier if you have a tripod. Staghorn coral grows relatively quickly, and it's good to see mankind doing something positive. I'm still carrying around a water bottle because these dives are so long. And the other thing is that it's very quiet, and that's one of my favorite things about a rebreather. This is the Purple Caribbean Glow Sponge. Because I'm not blowing bubbles, the eels behave very differently. general, I found that critters were much more conducive to modelling for me. On the subway yesterday, there was a guy eating pistachio nuts. He reminded me of this fish. On our fourth day in Bonaire, Scotty and I decided to head north. Far north, to where hardly anybody ever dives. We stopped at this lookout to get some heroic shots. Come on, Scotty, more heroic. That's it. Scotty refuses to work under these conditions.
You're wondering now what to do. Now you know this is the end.
One of the locals told me about a fishing village, and the fisherman very kindly told us about the currents. He called it the sea power. This trumpet fish was very happy to use me as some extra cover for its hunting. And a little bit later on, I found out that there was family involved.
Return. Forever you will wait. You're wondering now what to do. Now you know this is the end.
Oh shit, I didn't hear you. I've just got to run out. Excuse me. In this dive, we ended up 4 or 5 dive sites to the south, and we ran into some traffic.
Curtain has fallen. Now you're on your own. I won't return. Forever you.
This jawfish wouldn't come out, but in post I turned up the darks and we could see him.
What to do?
In part 4, we go wreck diving. Meanwhile,
You're wondering how you will pay for the way you did behave. You're wondering now what to do. Now you know this is the end.